with this or not, if I'm on the limb on this, as to why you got to get with when you got off-ball linebackers that aren't necessarily inside linebackers eating up tackles and getting those numbers. Plays like this one here. Let me take off the dono. Sorry. Thank you, Roxanne. Do you remember this play?
Yes, I do remember this play.
So do you see why I kind of picked it as well, though, on this? And I will show just real quick, and we'll let you on. I know I've kept you a little bit longer here, but here's a play where you essentially cause the interception for Springs. Springs isn't jumping the route purely. He wants to go to the first read there, and the guy cuts it back to the secondary route, which then opens it up. But it's your coverage and taking away. That's if I'm not mistaken, they're a wide receiver in that spot there. And you're taking that away. Is that the kind of plays that are emblematic when you're an off-ball linebacker at times to get the value of what a guy's doing? And I know this is a highlight moment to do, but I can show your 79 sacks. I can show the 1,000 tackles. I can show TFLs, like this play where you're cutting through and you're knifing the backfield. You change your stance pre-snap to a post-snap just to get you at the last moment to cut yourself in. Little things like that. But is that not a little bit of the way of understanding the will and understanding sometimes when you're in that position of why, or the Sam, as you played a lot too, why you got to look at that position with a little bit of a different lens than other positions that are easier to categorize?
Well, I think everybody wants to look at stats first. Show me your stats and that kind of thing. There's no stat for that. Sean Springs gets credit for the interception. While I reached out to try to, break up the pass, I didn't touch the ball. So I don't get a pass broken up. I don't get a pass deflection. I certainly didn't get the interception. So those are kind of things that are difficult to measure. So I've always enjoyed folks like yourself who can look and see those kinds of things because, well, I certainly prided myself in being a tackler and a pass rusher. There was all these other things that I would do that allowed my teammates to make plays that didn't show up in the stat sheet and maybe was difficult to follow from the TV copy. So no matter what I was asked to do, at some point along the way, I played every possible linebacker position that's ever been invented. And that was because I prided myself on being as versatile as I possibly could, but also being a guy who was willing to do whatever it took to win. So if coach thinks I'm going to be best in this spot for us to win the game, then yeah, I think, sure, I should be rushing the passer, but if you need me to cover tight ends 20 yards downfield, then I'm going to give you my best effort with that. I'm going to watch tape and I'm going to notice that Raider tight end runs that in-breaking route on third down pretty often. I'm going to try to undercut that. And so that kind of stuff doesn't show up on the stat sheets, doesn't get you voted to the Pro Bowls, but it certainly makes a difference when helping your teammates be better and helping you win.
It's what shows up on your tape over and over at times. You can be doing, as you say, I can look at 3 great plays you made that are different plays all in what they're doing in the 3-play sequence with you. If I pull it out from this random Raiders game or whatnot, and it's the heart, as you said, it's not easy to see, but does show up on tape when you actually kind of look for what and understand what you're looking for a little bit with it. And that kind of play like they're just absolutely emblematic. If you have the stats too, you got all the statistical production that should be enough to push you through, but it should be this other side that I hope eventually that they get their head wrapped around with you on this, because there's something to the fact the NFL has put one will linebacker in the Hall of Fame over the last 30 years. There's something to that, and that ain't right. That's it. We haven't had a great will linebacker in 30 years in the sport, or is somebody not doing enough rightful math on this, especially people that are supposed to be voters that are supposed to know better, Chad. I'm a little bit, it sort of shirks me on this one because this is the type of career that's supposed to be rewarded. So it doesn't make sense to me at times on it.
I didn't know that, so I appreciate you giving me that one. And so, I've had a couple of conversations with the folks who are on the Hall of Fame committee. So I will throw that one out. And that's an interesting one because they've got to change their lens and perspective on things to really give will linebackers and those guys off the ball their true value.